Vanessa was my first love. We reunited years later in an elevator. She didn't recognize me. After pressing the button for the 26th floor, she noticed I hadn't moved and asked where I was going. "I'm going to the 26th floor, too," I answered quietly. She stared at me, sizing me up until I tensed. Finally, she spoke. "I don't recall seeing you on the payroll." I tightened my grip on the insulated lunch bag. "I'm a family member." She nodded and didn't say another word. I stared at her tall, slender silhouette for a few seconds, lost in thought. She didn't remember me, but I would never forget her. She was my girlfriend for 3 months, just long enough to use me as a stepping stone to get close to my best friend. They ended up together. In the heat of that summer, I lost both my best friend and the love of my life. Vanessa and I walked out of the elevator, one after the other. She walked briskly, her posture elegant. I followed behind her at a leisurely pace. She turned left into the executive office. I saw the nameplate on the door. So, she was the new boss Lily had mentioned a few days ago, the one who'd been parachuted in from corporate. I turned right into the open-plan workspace. At 9 p.m., the development department was still ablaze with lights. Most of Lily's colleagues knew me. Seeing the lunch bag, they immediately started groaning with jealousy. "Damn, why does Lily get a gourmet home-cooked meal while we're stuck eating slop from the cafeteria?" Lily smiled shyly under the pressure of their teasing and pulled me out to the balcony. It was quiet there. Every time I brought her food, she took me to this spot. The thermos was filled with chicken soup. My mother had gone to the country specifically to buy a farm-raised chicken, and the aroma was incredible. "Smells so good." Lily sniffed the air, looking touched. "Best future husband ever. When can you get off work?" I asked, stroking her head affectionately. "I think you're starting to get dark circles." "I can't help it. The new boss is cracking the whip. Everyone's rushing to meet deadlines," Lily said, playfully pressing her forehead against mine. "Once I wrap up this project, I can put in for wedding leave." Lily and I had been set up by family friends. She had a high income, one had a stable job. It was a very common pairing in the dating market. After meeting a few times, we realized we both had easygoing personalities, so we made it official. Last month, our parents met and we started discussing wedding dates. She treated me well. Even though we weren't married yet, she handed over her entire paycheck to me, transferring it with the memo voluntary gift, just like people suggested online. Reciprocating her trust, I felt bad about how hard she worked, so I often brought her dinner. I felt this was a reassuring way to be together. She didn't mind that my looks were average, and I didn't mind that her personality was a bit stiff. Two ordinary people supporting each other, building a life together. Lily had been working overtime for almost a month straight. I went to see her every few days. Even if I didn't bring food, it was nice to meet up and go to a local restaurant near the office for a change of pace. But every time I came, I ran into Vanessa. She was indeed a strict boss with high standards for her subordinates. However, Lily said Vanessa was fair. She kept business and personal matters separate. Although she demanded her team work late, she worked even harder herself. Most importantly, Vanessa was incredibly competent. She commanded respect. I could hear the admiration in Lily's voice, but I had seen too much of that kind of admiration in the past to find it strange. At first, I was nervous, worried about how I should react if Vanessa recognized me. Later, I was calm as water. Even when Lily called my name right in front of her, Vanessa showed no reaction. She had truly, completely forgotten me. I breathed a sigh of relief. Eventually, once Vanessa got used to seeing me around, I could even smile at her naturally. Vanessa was a distant boss who didn't joke around with employees, so whenever she saw me, she just gave a curt nod. I thought this was for the best. After all, Lily worked for Vanessa. The simpler the relationship, the better. On the day the crunch time finally ended, Lily called me excitedly, saying she was coming home for dinner. I left work early on purpose and bought groceries. I like cooking, and I like seeing the happy expressions on the faces of people I care about when they eat good food. Lily wasn't much of a cook, so she always handled the dishwashing. I heard the key in the lock. Holding a spatula, I walked out of the kitchen just in time to see Lily walking in with a fruit basket. Before I could say hello, I saw Vanessa behind her. The cheerful "you're back" got stuck in my throat. I stood there, frozen for a few seconds. Lily didn't notice anything wrong. She was bending over to find slippers for Vanessa. "Vanessa, wear these. They're brand new, I haven't worn them yet." Those were the matching slippers I bought last month. Right now, the men's pair was on my feet. I curled my toes, feeling uncomfortable. But Lily didn't know anything, and I couldn't tell her I didn't like her giving our matching slippers to someone else. After all, she was a guest and a boss, so we had to be hospitable. When Vanessa saw me, she greeted me naturally. "Hi, sorry to intrude." Lily laughed. I ran into Vanessa right when I clocked out. She asked if I wanted to grab dinner, so I invited her over. "Vanessa, I'm not bragging, but Ben's cooking is top tier. You'll see." Vanessa twitched the corner of her mouth. "I don't need to try it to know. Every time your boyfriend brings you those love lunches, I can smell it from my office." "Vanessa, do you have any dietary restrictions?" "No restrictions," Vanessa said. "I eat everything." She was lying. She didn't eat ginger, green onions, or cilantro, and she couldn't handle spicy food. But Lily loved spicy food. I could have pretended not to know, but Vanessa was Lily's boss. If she wasn't satisfied with the meal tonight, would she make things difficult for Lily at work? I pursed my lips, hesitated for 2 seconds, and changed the planned Sichuan boiled fish to fish with pickled greens. I only added a few dried chilies to the braised ribs for flavor. I stir-fried some shredded potatoes, made a mild tofu soup, and mixed a separate spicy dipping sauce. It was enough for 3 people. When the food was on the table, Lily excitedly brought out a bottle of red wine she had been saving, saying she wanted to thank Vanessa for her guidance recently. I wanted to say something but stopped. Lily was a lightweight, 1 glass and she'd be done. But the wine was already breathing. If I stopped her now, I'd be a wet blanket. So I ate in silence. Vanessa didn't talk much. The dinner table was mostly filled with Lily's voice. Suddenly, something touched the top of my foot. I stiffened, my eyes instinctively darting down, but I could only see the tablecloth. Accidental, probably. I silently pulled my foot back. Lily eventually got drunk. She lay on the table, her cheeks flushed red. I poured a glass of honey water, whispering coaxingly for her to drink it, then smiled apologetically at Vanessa. Vanessa's eyes were cold when she wasn't smiling. She pulled out a slim cigarette and used her eyes to ask if I minded. I could only say I didn't. She sat there blowing smoke rings, watching me pick Lily up and lay her down on the sofa. I bustled around, putting a blanket over Lily and clearing the table. Vanessa didn't offer to leave, and I couldn't exactly kick her out. But with Lily asleep, it was inevitably awkward with just the 2 of us. I racked my brains to find something to do. After washing the dishes and wiping the table, out of sheer boredom, I cut an apple into bunny shapes for Vanessa. Vanessa forked a piece, looked at it for a long while, and suddenly spoke. "Ben." It was the first time she had said my name since we reunited. "Are you like this with every girlfriend?" "Like what?" "Working yourself to the bone, giving them whatever they want." She concluded like a servant. She thought for a moment and added, "No, not just girlfriends. You act like a free servant to your friends, too." My brain froze and my limbs went cold. The moment she said that, I knew she had recognized me all along. When did she remember? Since she had pretended not to know me before, why expose it tonight of all nights? "I heard you 2 are getting married?" Vanessa didn't care about my silence and continued. "Lily's work ability is average, and she doesn't know how to sell herself. She's actually a decent match for you." Her words were harsh. I pursed my lips and took the bunny apples away from her, hoping she would take the hint and leave. But Vanessa seemed entertained. Wearing the slippers, she followed me into the kitchen at a leisurely pace. "You still love buying this grayscale tableware. Lily likes cute stuff. Doesn't she complain? Why haven't you told Lily I'm your ex-girlfriend? Afraid she'll feel inferior? We're wearing matching slippers, aren't we? Lily's a bit oblivious, isn't she?" I finally couldn't take it anymore. I turned to face her and asked with restraint, "Can you leave now?" Vanessa crossed her arms, staring at me expressionlessly. Ben, do you really have no temper? You disagree with what I'm saying, right? Why don't you argue back? Vanessa interrogated me. Just like back then, her voice stopped abruptly. It was rare to see her emotional, which somehow made me look like the bad guy. I didn't understand how Vanessa could be so self-righteous. Maybe that's just how people without morals are. Everyone else is always in the wrong. I know what kind of person Lily is better than you do, I answered calmly. She is good. I validate her and her colleagues validate her. So what? Vanessa raised an eyebrow. I'm the one who controls Lily's future. As long as I don't validate her, Lily has no hope of a promotion or a raise. I gritted my teeth. Lily said you separate business from personal matters. Did you misunderstand something? Vanessa sneered lightly. I don't look down on Lily because of you. She really just isn't competent enough. I think I actually hated Vanessa. Privileged women like her, born with everything, couldn't understand the hardships of ordinary people. I knew how hard Lily worked to stay in this competitive big tech firm, and I knew how much she admired Vanessa. But Vanessa didn't even consider Lily worth her time. How tragic. Just like me back then. I let out a breath slowly. What do you want? Vanessa didn't speak. You never do anything without a reason, so you didn't come here tonight just to eat. Vanessa smiled. You know me that well? So what is your goal? Break up with Lily. I immediately retorted. Absolutely not. It was just a joke. Why the big reaction? Vanessa smiled as if nothing had happened. You like Lily that much? More than you liked me? But I felt her tone didn't sound like a joke at all. Vanessa held out her hand to me. Give me your phone. I looked at her warily. Give it to me. I had to hand it to her. Vanessa instinctively entered an unlock code. Unlock failed. I saw a barely perceptible frown between her brows. You changed your password? My password used to be my birthday. Later, I felt that having the same password for every account wasn't safe, so I changed it. I told her the new password, and I watched Vanessa operate it quickly, saving her number and adding herself on socials. You are not allowed to block me, and you are not allowed to ignore my calls. I looked at her with uncertainty, not understanding what game she was playing. If it was just for such a small request, why go through all this trouble? I soon found out Vanessa's purpose. One evening, while Lily and I were grocery shopping, I suddenly received a message from Vanessa saying she wanted wontons. I pretended not to see it. Vanessa didn't get a reply, so she called directly. Even though I quickly silenced it, Lily still looked over. Who was that? For some reason, I felt a strong sense of guilt. I've never been a good liar. No one. Spam call. I put the phone on mute. Vanessa only sent one message and made one call that day. But the next day, Lily started working overtime day and night. In the middle of her shift, she called me, hesitant and stuttering, saying she missed my homemade wontons. A few colleagues said they want some too. Ben, could you make a big batch? Everyone can boil them for a late-night snack. I didn't know exactly what Vanessa had said to Lily. I just found her behavior disgusting. She wasn't separating public and private matters at all, she was blurring them completely. In that moment, I even wanted to confess everything to Lily and persuade her to quit. But I couldn't say it. Big tech was exhausting, but the income wasn't something a small company could match. Lily always said she wanted to work hard for a few years, save up money, and have an easier retirement. If she hadn't been dating me, Vanessa might have thought her ability was average, but she wouldn't have targeted her and forced her to work overtime. I closed my eyes, unable to refuse, and whispered, okay. There were 5 colleagues working overtime with Lily. I brought disposable bowls and chopsticks and carried large bags to the office. The group held the fragrant wontons, nearly in tears, exclaiming how delicious they were. I personally carried a bowl of wontons and knocked on Vanessa's office door. Come in. I pushed the door open. Vanessa was sitting in her chair, waiting for me, staring at me with a half smile. As if to say, I got to eat these wontons after all. I placed the wontons in front of her and turned to leave. Leaving just like that? Don't want to say anything? Vanessa's voice rang out behind me. I turned back and looked at her calmly. There's nothing to say. I can guess why you hate me. You blame me for your breakup with Jared, don't you? Vanessa looked at me expressionlessly. Is that what you think? What else? Is there anything else between you and me? Compared to my complete loss of contact with Vanessa over the years, I knew a bit more about Jared's situation. After all, we grew up together. Our parents lived in the same neighborhood, so I always heard news about him. I knew Jared got married, and I knew he and Vanessa only dated for a month. Sometimes I found it strange. Vanessa and Jared, one betrayed love, the other betrayed friendship. I thought a relationship that made them willing to accept infamy to be together would at least be passionate and undying. But actually, they broke up quietly. People only realized Jared and Vanessa had been broken up for a long time when they saw someone new by his side. Of course, maybe I was flattering myself. In Vanessa and Jared's eyes, I wasn't important at all. Vanessa just used me as a stepping stone. After all, too many women were chasing Jared. She had to find a way to stand out. And Jared never considered me a friend. The handsome god needed a lackey to do his bidding and highlight his good looks. So when they got together, they didn't consider my feelings. When they broke up, they just broke up. I still saw Jared occasionally over the years. At first, my feelings toward him were complex, hating him for stealing Vanessa, and resenting him for not just telling me he had feelings for her too. He knew perfectly well that if he had just asked, I wouldn't have fought him for her. Later, I stopped caring. He had his life, I had mine. After all, so many years had passed. When you're young and naive, you take relationships so seriously. If you're betrayed, you feel abandoned by the whole world. I even went with my parents to attend Jared's wedding. He avoided my gaze from beginning to end, afraid to look at me. I knew he felt guilty, but actually there was nothing to feel guilty about. I was the one who overestimated myself, thinking a princess would really give up the prince to be with the ugly duckling. I was too stupid, too naive, thinking that even as an ordinary person, I had my shining moments and that someone would be willing to stop for me. I became Vanessa's free butler. Whatever she wanted to eat, one phone call and I had to go make it for her. If she said her house was dirty, I brought my own cleaning tools to do a deep clean. The more I obeyed her, the guiltier I felt toward Lily. The guiltier I felt, the better I treated Lily, taking care of almost all her daily needs. Then Vanessa would intensify her demands on me. It was a vicious cycle. I felt like a string stretched to its limit, unaware of when I would snap. One day, Lily called me excitedly to say she got a raise. A $500 monthly raise. She had been working at this tech firm for a few years, and this increase was surprisingly high. I thought there was no chance for a raise this time. I didn't expect so much. It's all thanks to Vanessa. Ben, I want to treat Vanessa to dinner to thank her properly. I swallowed the bitterness rising in my throat and answered with a smile. Sure. Ask her what she wants to eat, and I'll prep in advance. The next second, I received a menu from Vanessa. They were all complicated, difficult dishes. Lily was cheerful on the other end of the line. I asked. Vanessa said she's fine with anything. She's not picky. We've eaten together a few times before, right? She really doesn't seem picky. No, it was because I never cooked the things she didn't eat. Then set a time and let me know. Hold on, let me ask. The phone was quiet for a few seconds. Then Lily said, Vanessa said she happens to be free today. Today doesn't work, I said, a bit troubled. You know, I bought an AC unit a few days ago, and I have an appointment with the installers today. My place was a 30-minute drive from Lily's. Including grocery shopping, I wouldn't make it in time. Lily hesitated. But Vanessa is usually so busy. Since we're treating her, we should accommodate her schedule. She thought for a moment and suddenly said, Why don't we come to your place? That way, while the workers are installing the AC, you can prep in the kitchen. Save time? Refusal was on the tip of my tongue, but I swallowed it. I gripped the phone, nodded, and said, Okay. Vanessa had implicitly and explicitly asked where I lived many times. When I went to clean her house before, she had offered to drive me home many times. But I refused every single time. Looking back now, those attempts to draw a line seemed meaningless. Vanessa was that kind of person. If she wanted to know something, she would find a way. If not this time, then the next. She couldn't stand seeing me happy, so the only solution seemed to be breaking up with Lily. I looked at the kitchen full of ingredients and numbly started prepping. I didn't want to break up with Lily. She was a good person. Although a bit straightforward, she had no bad intentions toward me. Being with her might not offer many surprises, but at least life was stable. I wasn't someone with a lot of options, and I wasn't exactly young anymore. If I lost Lily, it would be hard to find another woman as good as her. Maybe if I just endured a few more years, it would be fine. Big tech is high pressure. Lily couldn't stay there forever. Once she saved enough money and switched jobs, we could live a good life. But a voice deep in my heart kept whispering uneasily, asking me over and over, will that day really come? When the doorbell rang, I dried my hands to open it. Only Vanessa was outside. Surprised? Vanessa smirked. Lily is in line buying boba tea. She said it was hot, so she gave me the address to come up first. She didn't care about my hesitation. She let herself in, changed into slippers and looked around. It's cozy. Have a seat. I'll get you some water. She came too suddenly. I didn't have time to lock the bedroom and study doors. But Vanessa had no self-awareness as a guest. She walked straight toward my bedroom with a clear purpose. Vanessa! I took a few quick steps to block her, staring at her angrily. Don't go too far. Her pitch-black eyes landed on me. How am I going too far? Just wanting to see your home is going too far? When I gave Lily that raise, why didn't you say I was going too far? You know the economy is bad right now, right? The company has been doing layoffs. With Lily's work ability, maybe next time she'll be on the list. She raised her hand and touched my cheek. I must have been losing my mind because I actually felt a hint of tenderness in her action. You like her a lot, don't you? You'd do anything for her? She leaned in, whispering like a devil in my ear. Are you really willing to do anything? Trembling, I took a step back. Good boy. Vanessa patted my head with satisfaction and walked into the bedroom. She didn't just take a look. She opened the wardrobe and critiqued my clothes. Your styles are too dull. Can't you buy something with some design? She opened the drawer of the nightstand, saw what was inside, and looked at me with a half smile. Looks like you and Lily have a good relationship. She picked up my pillow, sniffed it, and a look of satisfaction flashed in her eyes. I wanted to ask before, what brand of shampoo and body wash do you use? Smells good. A sharp shiver pricked through my body. I wanted to run, but my feet felt rooted to the ground. I could only stand there passively, watching with my own eyes as Vanessa shattered all my privacy. Your underwear is all basic style. Is Lily really interested in you? Vanessa picked up a pair of cotton boxers, rubbing the fabric with her thumb, her smile full of malice. Haven't you noticed Lily likes posts from male influencers who show off their abs? My hands hanging by my sides trembled slightly. Just as I was about to slap her regardless of the consequences, there was noise at the door. Lily walked in carrying boba tea, changing her shoes as she spoke. Ben, I'm back. Is Vanessa here? Why didn't you close the door? That was the hardest meal to swallow in my entire life. Before, Vanessa had at least maintained a human mask. But after coming to my house, she seemed to have discarded even the last shred of decency. For the first time in my life, I regretted buying a small dining table. Vanessa ate with proper etiquette, looking dignified and refined. But under the table, her toe glided up my pant leg without any reservation. I'm full. I put down my bowl and stood up abruptly. Lily looked at the half-eaten rice in my bowl and asked worriedly, Ben, are you feeling sick? You've been eating very little lately. It's the heat. No appetite. I forced a smile. You guys take your time. After dinner, Lily voluntarily cleared the table and went to wash the dishes. I escaped into the bathroom, but Vanessa followed me in. Are you crazy? I pushed her away forcefully. If Lily found out, everything would be over. Vanessa frowned in dissatisfaction. What? Am I that shameful? Vanessa, what the hell do you want? Just put me out of my misery. I couldn't take this slow torture anymore. I want to fuck you. I froze. Didn't you ask what I wanted? Vanessa repeated patiently. I want to fuck you. She was saying something so obscene, yet her expression remained self-righteous. You, go find someone else. My voice trembled, my eyes red. There are plenty of people willing. Let me go. I don't want to use protection, afraid of diseases. I don't trust others, Vanessa said. You're clean. I'm not good enough for you. It doesn't matter. Actually, for women, it's all the same with the lights off. She looked patient, easy to talk to. But I knew that if she could say that, she meant it. Just like when she said I should break up with Lily. She said it was a joke. But actually, she meant that too. That night, for the first time in a long while, I actively messaged Jared. The only solution I could think of was hoping Vanessa might leave me alone for Jared's sake. There wasn't that much hatred between us, right? Although I dated Vanessa for a few months, I had always been good to her. We never fought, never had drama. Even when she betrayed me, I didn't question or badmouth her, I just silently accepted it. I couldn't understand why she hated me so deeply, even if she was projecting her anger, feeling that I caused her breakup with Jared. It had been so many years. Jared was married, his kid was born. It should be water under the bridge, right? I clutched my phone, staring at the sent message for a long time. Jared finally replied, "You think Vanessa is doing all this because she hates you?" I was confused and asked, "What else?" "Ben, you're always like this. You always blame yourself for everything. So the people you cherish end up getting greedier and greedier because of you. Actually, the person Vanessa hates most is me. She hates that I took half your attention. But she's an idiot too. You spoiled her until she became lawless and forgot herself. She thought that no matter what she did, you would tolerate her, forgive her. I can actually understand Vanessa's mindset. It's been years, feelings faded. Who knew you'd meet again? And your girlfriend is her subordinate. You treat Lily so well. You gave everything that originally belonged to her to someone else. Ha! Vanessa is probably twisted with jealousy. I understood every word Jared typed, but stringing them together, I didn't quite get it. Finally, he said, "Ben, I owe you an apology. You always manage to make yourself happy, so maybe you don't need this apology. But I still want to take this chance to tell you, I'm sorry. I'm a proud person. I'd rather die than bow my head first. Thank you for tolerating me all those years. Losing a friend like you is what I deserve." I had actually stopped expecting an apology from Jared a long time ago, just as I wouldn't believe that Vanessa might actually like me. Lily went on a business trip 3 days after I had my falling out with Vanessa. She was very apologetic. While packing, she said, "I planned to celebrate your birthday properly, but they scheduled this trip last minute. But this project has good prospects. If I complete it, I can get a big bonus." Vanessa said since I'm getting married soon, I should earn more money. I thought about it and it makes sense. "Ben, I won't be with you for this birthday, but we have a long future ahead. There will be plenty of chances." She hugged me and, like a magic trick, handed me a watch box. Birthday present. Happy early birthday to my Ben. I took her to the airport and watched her board the plane with Vanessa. In front of others, Lily rarely acted intimately with me. At most, she held my hand. Parting, she didn't even give me a hug. Under Vanessa's all-knowing gaze, I smiled and waved goodbye to them. I knew Lily and I couldn't go on. Relationships between ordinary people are like this, seemingly indestructible, but actually full of obstacles. Vanessa didn't even need to do much. On the surface, she even promoted Lily. But the pressure of reality alone was enough to crush us. Humans are creatures that seek advantage and avoid harm. When being alone is better than being together, people stop wanting to get married. On my birthday, I received many well wishes. It was hot. My parents were away for the summer to escape the heat. They planned to come back to celebrate with me, but I felt the travel was too much hassle, so I said it wasn't necessary. My colleague didn't know it was my birthday. She said her child was suddenly sick and asked if I could finish her work. I agreed. So when I got off work, it was already very late. Lily had called earlier, saying she was busy today and might not have time to video chat tonight. I didn't care. Passing a bakery on the way home, I bought myself a small cake. Just as I walked downstairs, I saw Vanessa standing under the streetlight. She was holding an exquisite birthday cake and a bouquet of roses. I looked straight ahead and walked past her. Vanessa followed silently. Only when we walked out of the elevator did Vanessa finally speak. Aren't you curious why I came back suddenly? I remained silent. Don't you want to know what Lily is doing right now? I stopped and looked back at her. Vanessa smiled, a hint of mockery in her eyes. Did she tell you she had to work overtime and didn't have time to contact you tonight? She tapped her phone and held it in front of me. In the video, inside a dimly lit private room, Lily was nestled in the arms of a handsome, muscular man. Their behavior was intimate. On her face was a frivolous smile I had never seen before. I have plenty more videos like this. During her month-long business trip, her nightlife has been very rich. The company didn't assign her any tasks today. She had at least half a day of free time. She could have totally flown back to spend your birthday with you. But she didn't. I heard she hangs out with male models at a certain club long-term. Do you want to know what that guy looks like? Ben, is this the future wife you validate? Is this the stable life you dream of?
I admit, I judged her wrong. I answered calmly.
But Vanessa, you caused all of this. Lily and I are both ordinary people. Since we are ordinary, we can't withstand temptation. Just like me and you back then. I knew I wasn't good enough for you, but you approached me, lured me, and I still fell for it. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have broken with my best friend, wouldn't have suffered betrayal. Everything, absolutely everything, is because of you. The smile on Vanessa's face vanished. Ben, are you blaming me? Do you hate me? I thought you were well aware that I hate you. With the heartache reaching its peak, I actually managed to laugh out loud. Jared said you actually liked me, that you were just spoiled by me. I didn't believe it at first. But looking at it now, you went in a big circle just to make me kick Lily out so you could take her place, right? Do you think that since you're both cheaters, but you're superior to Lily in every way, I would definitely choose you? You're wrong. Marriage is free will. Just because I won't marry Lily doesn't mean I have to marry you. Vanessa's jawline tightened. She stepped forward, trapping me in a small corner. Our breath mingled. I could feel her aggression. If my boring body can turn you on, Vanessa, you're right. Women really aren't picky. Vanessa left. Before leaving, as if to vent her anger, she threw the flowers and cake into the trash can. Actually, they were beautiful. It was a pity to throw them away. I withdrew my gaze, went home, and slid down against the door to sit on the floor, exhausted. I took out my phone and sent Lily a long breakup message, explaining the causes and consequences clearly. My last bit of strength was drained. I leaned against the wall, crying without a sound. I'm really not greedy. I just wanted to find an ordinary person and live an ordinary life, supporting each other. Even without love, it would be fine as long as there were boundaries and a conscience. But it turns out even such a requirement is too difficult. Lily didn't see my message until the next day. She called me frantically, one call after another. But when I finally answered, we were silent. At this point, saying anything seemed futile. Finally, Lily said, "I'm sorry." It seemed everyone was saying sorry to me, but what I wanted was never an apology. I hung up the phone, gathered everything in the house related to Lily, and prepared to throw it away. Opening the shoe cabinet, I saw the women's slippers Vanessa had worn only once. I thought about it and threw them away too. When I opened the door, I saw Vanessa leaning against my doorway. I didn't know when she had come back. Dark circles were visible under her eyes. She had stayed up all night. She looked a bit disheveled but generally alert. Seeing me, she opened her mouth, then closed it. "If you want to say sorry, forget it," I said. "Cheap apologies are just disgusting." She stood up and asked me, "Is it really impossible between us?" "Yes. Once unfaithful, never trusted." How cruel. Vanessa pulled the corner of her mouth. "But you're right." She raised her hand, wanting to pat my head like before. I took a step back, and her hand landed on empty air. But Vanessa had always been willful. Unable to touch my head, she grabbed my wrist and bit down viciously. Before I could cry out in pain, she suddenly let go. "Ben, watch closely next time you treat someone well. Bottomless indulgence only makes people cross the line. Be careful, one day you'll take back that kindness and they'll bite back. I won't pine for you forever. Sooner or later, I'll quit you." I won't get jealous anymore. There are so many men who like me, I'll forget you soon. I was silent for a long time, then said, then I wish you well. Vanessa's epilogue. Ben got married when he was 32. The bride was 5 years younger than him. Anyone with eyes could see how much she adored him. Vanessa crashed the wedding and gave a thick red envelope. So thick that the person collecting the gifts eyed her repeatedly, afraid she was there to object to the wedding. Vanessa thought, this person is overthinking it. How could I possibly stop this? The hotel was high-end. Rumor had it the bride came from a good family and had the kind of looks that were popular these days. Overall, she was not only as excellent as Vanessa, but she also had the advantage of youth. Vanessa laughed at herself. Looks like I wasn't the only woman with good taste. She didn't intend to watch the ceremony. The craving hit, so she hid on a deserted terrace to smoke. Smoking was a bad habit she picked up after breaking up with Ben. After all these years, she had finally quit Ben, but she could never quit smoking. Smoke blurred Vanessa's vision. She felt an itch in her heart, unsure of what it meant. Had she really quit Ben? Just as she put out the cigarette, the terrace door was pushed open. The bride, wearing her wedding dress and veil, walked in. Vanessa froze for a second. The woman smiled politely at her, walked to the railing, and didn't forget to fix her appearance in the reflection of the glass. I'm getting married today, the bride said suddenly. Vanessa suddenly felt the wretchedness of a loser. My husband's name is Ben. Do you know him? Vanessa made a vague sound, unsure if she was admitting or denying it. I know you. You're Vanessa. Vanessa froze completely. Why so shocked? The bride laughed. Ben told me everything. Knowing his personality, he probably didn't send you an invitation. Actually, a qualified ex should be like a dead person. Look at Lily, she was very tactful. Although she transferred money to Ben, she didn't come to the wedding. But it's good that you came. I hadn't seen you before, and I actually felt quite threatened. The bride scanned Vanessa contemptuously. Now seeing you in person, you're nothing special. Completely incomparable to me. You don't know how hard Ben was to catch. I tried so hard to marry him. I can't let some random trashy woman hook him away. All right, my ceremony is starting. Ms. X, are you coming to watch? Vanessa fled. She remembered many years ago, when she first got together with Ben. She recklessly enjoyed Ben's devotion while being jealous that Jared always occupied Ben's mind. She felt jealous. She felt it wasn't enough. She wanted Ben to know that this best friend wasn't sincere to him at all. She successfully made Ben see through Jared's true colors. The price was losing Ben forever. Actually, after reuniting, she hadn't planned to keep pestering him. But as luck would have it, Lily and Ben were always being lovey-dovey on the balcony outside her office. She hid in the shadows, looking through the one-way glass, watching those sweet scenes, becoming more obsessed day by day. Those originally belonged to me. How could Ben give them to another woman? Her thoughts were twisted by jealousy, becoming more and more extreme. In the end, there was no turning back. Actually, if they had acknowledged each other properly at the beginning, given Ben's personality, they could have still been ordinary friends, right? Didn't he forgive Jared? Vanessa walked out of the hotel in a daze. Being friends would have been okay, too. Better than having no connection at all. The world spun, and she suddenly collapsed to the ground. In her blurring consciousness, she seemed to see herself reaching out to 18-year-old Ben, introducing herself with grace. Hi Ben, I'm Vanessa.